Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Nerd Doom, where the table explodes with anime, gaming, and overall nerd culture. I'm Mike,
I'm Addy,
and let's get things started.
and this is a kunai.
This is a kunai. Hi, kunai. You decided to join in right as soon as we're recording. It's
Yes,
fine.
you know she's going to. I have to look like an evil villainess with her. 1 million.
Yes. What was it? 100? What?
$100 billion or something like that.
Well, like the beginning, it was like 1,000. No, it was $100,000, and or was it?
No, it was like an amount
Oh
that
no, no,
doesn't
no!
exist.
The beginning was $1 million, and then when they like years later he tried to do the same thing, and they just laughed at him because that was like super cheap. So he went $100 million.
No, he went like $100 cajillion. That's
No,
like,
that was
that's
the third
not
one. No, he said 100 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said 100 million, then suddenly got important.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
they're
in
like,
yeah, that was in the second one, of The Spy Who Shagged Me.
It's been forever since I've seen that series.
Dude, some reason a lot of that shit still I remember all of it. I have watched I watched the first two over 20 times as far as I know, because it was like it just showed up on
How many
TV all the
times
time.
did we watch that stuff? We really shouldn't have, but we did.
That's most of our childhood, is just watching things you probably should have, and many of a millennial can attest to this.
Yes. Like, we watched movies that our parents were like, eh. I mean, there's also cartoons that we grew up on that we really should not have watched.
Well, I would say it's less of like for parents. Or I don't know how it was for you, but like, well, no, I do
My
know.
mom was, like, so unsure of what I should be watching. Like, she knew certain things, obviously, like, if it's blatant sex and, like, a lot of cussing, she was like, no. But things like Ren and Stimpy, because of how well hidden the adult jokes were. Like, she didn't like that I watched them, but she was just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, my problem was I had too much freedom, and so like, well, I wouldn't say I had too much freedom. It was more so I was
You were given a little bit of leeway because
somewhat. I just didn't listen a lot. There was clear rules. I just broke them.
this cracks me up to no end. Okay, Mom didn't like it if I watched Ren and Stimpy, but she drew the line at The Simpsons.
That makes no sense.
I know.
Like, well,
even Dad was like, "You do realize like this is better than
that's worse. I was like, back in the day, Simpsons was meta, but not as nearly as meta as it is now.
No,
like, yeah, no, Ren and Stimpy was way worse.
it was.
Half of like
I
most
go
of
back and
things that
watch.
came out
I
in
go back
different-
and like I catch clips from like episodes and stuff that I'm like, I remember that. Oh, I remember that very differently.
yeah. Yeah, most of the things were still worse. I mean, to be fair, and then again, like I was saying, like I don't know if anybody else was like this, but I had a situation where cable was like completely open for me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I would just stay up at night and just watch stuff all the time. If it was like if it was like an anime I was watching, like that was super late at night, I would just watch it. Don't care. If it was like other things I definitely should not have been watching as like a young kid, and like the very bits ends of direct TV that you're not supposed to watch as a child, or
Well, we
really
didn't have
anything
that.
under 18.
We had whatever was available for analog until we moved out to Monticello, and then we had DirecTV because we had to have a satellite dish,
Mm-hmm.
and then we didn't have basic, but we had basic channels, so we didn't have like HBO Stars and stuff like that. But I managed to get by, I guess. Like,
I mean, it works.
I didn't really care for a lot of like raunchy stuff anyway, just because like it didn't appeal to me.
I was definitely obsessed with it. But then again, I also watched like a bunch of stuff that was like definitely like rated R and stuff of that nature. I watched Frisk the Cat very early on in life.
See, no,
Like I watched that. I think I was like 10 or 11.
I think the most like rated movie I watched when I was younger. I'm trying to think of the worst one for that age range. Maybe Blade.
That was a rated R film.
Yeah, I saw that.
All
one.
three of them was rated R films.
Partial. Queen of the Damned.
Yeah, it was. No, wait.
No, I think it was PG-13.
No, that was PG. Interview with the Vampire was rated R. But
I watched that one.
Yeah.
Watched the crap out of that one.
Yeah, and Queen of the Dam, rest in peace, Aaliyah.
Mm.
Like, yeah, that was PG-13 if I remember correctly, as far as I know.
So, but and it wasn't like I went and saw it in theaters. It was like if it came on TV.
Yeah. Well,
So
speaking of movies,
yeah,
we watched a movie on random. It was 2 weeks ago now.
yeah.
On my whim, because I was like,
Saw a trailer and was like, ooh.
let's watch. I was like, Addy, let's watch this. Do we have time today? Because it's like I think I watched the trailer and then realized that the sub version was only the day that day,
Yeah.
and then the dub version was the next time.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know how it was going to be in dub, but I wanted to know what it was like in that case. So it's an anime movie called Pompo the Cinéphile. Um, to give a short TDLR of it, essentially there's this producer named Pompo.
Young producer.
Yeah, very young producers,
Like
in
prodigy style.
yeah, she's like in her 20s apparently in it.
She's just very, very petite and very childlike.
Yeah, but she's like a really good producer who's like does a lot of B movies, like B action movies and things.
But they're good.
But they're really good. They're like fun, entertaining stuff. She's like the Michael Bay of the of the anime world is what I was getting at.
Maybe.
I feel it that way because
yeah.
it's definitely like high explosions, random women with tits. It's and well, and then mind you, the main woman who is also awesome. That was the case the entire
main
time.
Female actress.
Yeah, the main female actress. That was how all the time. But yeah,
she's cool with it. She's like, yeah, I like this.
yeah. So she decides that she wrote a script.
Not the female actress.
The Pompo.
Yeah.
Pompo
the producer.
The producer. She wrote a script and basically decided to make her assistant write.
Let's be fair.
direct
She
it.
trapped him into that. She was like, "Here, read this script.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it? Oh, I loved it. I love this part. It was so cool. And cool. You're directing it.
Yeah, but there was also like after like so many times because that's her thing is that she reads like the reason why she's so good at it is because she knows how to read people's potential very well,
Yes.
and she saw something in this guy that was director material
Well,
apparently, and that was after like making him
do like the
edit
like
do
what was it, 30-second?
He had to edit the trailer, the
30
TV
second
spot,
trailer,
and
yeah.
then he edited all the trailers afterwards.
Yeah, and then they liked it, and she was like, "All right, pass that test. Read the
Yeah.
script."
Yeah, I mean that was basically like I'm pretty sure at that point she was already
Goodbye.
planning to have him direct, but
Yeah,
at that point she needed him to read the script to like really know. But yeah, basically it's about the guy who is a very awkward assistant, but definitely a film buff, film nerd, obsessed with film since a young kid, essentially.
Like how to make them, how they're made, enjoying watching them.
Mhm. He spends a lot of his time when he's on the film set learning about how like certain things work
Like
for
he's
everybody.
got a notebook type learning and like Ezekiel Midoriya type learning.
Yeah, and he did it since high school, like so like it makes sense. We did talk about like he was muttering like how he would do his scene like during like his time, and we were like, what if Deku was a film director?
That.
Yeah, then basically that's the case. But it's like I honestly was shocked at how well. Why did I let this door open?
She must walk into it.
I need to get her out.
Come on. Queen eye. She's like,
we can cut
"Bitch,
that.
I was enjoying that.
We can cut that. It's fine.
What? Nah, leave it in there. Blooper.
There we go. What was that? Oh yeah. So Deku, film director Deku. I was surprised at how much I liked it. I thought I was just gonna be like, this is on a whim and this is random and I will enjoy it. I generally liked how well it was done. The animation studio's called what was it called? Clap. That's what it was called.
Oh yeah, clap. It had a rather interesting like themed opening.
Dude, it was just like a slow clap.
Then it went to like a rhythmic type thing.
Yeah. It was like a rhythmic kind of thing into it, but it was like the essential of like a slow clap, which was really cool. It was very interesting. I really liked how they portrayed like editing. That was probably my favorite part is like the editing process.
I got slight Gurren Lagann and or Kill la Kill vibes from it.
Yeah, a lot of the colors and shit that came out with it. So like a lot of the stuff, and spoiler alert, just in case anybody plans to watch this, at home, because I don't think it's going to come out in theaters anytime soon. It'll just be at home. It will get a Blu-ray because G Kids is really good about getting all those movies into like homes for the U.S.
Yeah, they're the ones that produced Belle for the U.S.
they distribute it. They distribute a lot of the content for like Japanese movies that don't end up through like basically Shonen Jump.
Pretty much.
But yeah, the editing process is really cool because it like kind of makes him, he goes a little crazy, honestly and truly. He does not sleep. But seriously, the entirety of the anime is just him with giant bags at all times.
At all times.
And somehow
like the look of desperation and depression, but he's not.
I seriously watched the part where he started the editing process of his movie, and like you get to what was like 3 days or something of that nature, and he's not slept a wink.
Yeah,
because he's like
he's going ham.
He was having issues though because he's
trying to get it under a certain amount of time, but he's not sure what to cut, where to cut, how to get everything pieced together correctly so that it still tells the story.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I think it was like he was so sad to cut so much stuff, especially since a lot of it was like
good shots.
It was really good shots, like, and then like so that's not the coolest. The coolest parts is like the amount of times they would actually put in scenes of the film that they're doing.
Yeah,
and they're like good. Like it's not like, oh yeah, they're just throwing away
like a movie
stuff.
within the movie.
It is a movie within a movie. It's so cool how like some of the stuff was like solid work.
Can we talk about the transitions?
Oh my god. You mean like the transitions in terms of like every scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so like there are just some things that just has unnecessary like good transitions just to have good transitions, but you don't see them like work as well for something. It works so well for the sake of a film. About a film.
Yeah, because it's the theme of it. So
yeah, every transition is literally an actual known cut or known transition that is used in almost every single film.
It was so good.
And it's so exciting and it's so easy. In some cases, you don't really even think about it because it's just a natural way of doing things, which is, I think it makes it even more awesome. Some of the other stuff I really liked was some of the actors like are just unnecessarily good. Like
the main lead, the main
the person that plays the male lead, he's like this.
They brought him out of retirement to do the role.
Yeah,
and he's like he's a little bit of a flirty, kind of like, hey ladies, but not like overly so. And then there's a scene like right when you first see him, and he's goofing around. He's got his glasses on, but he's in costume, and they went and take his glasses away, and they went, all right, action. And all of a sudden it was just like, whoom, in character automatically.
Yeah, and it was like he's supposed to play this like very solemn like I've been through, well, I wouldn't say I've been through shit, but I'm very hurt and like everything's shit now.
Yeah, it's a music conductor.
Yeah,
so like he was like a top of his game music producer or conductor who
is very into himself.
He's very into himself, and he kind of loses his way, and he kind of goes on like a self-finding thing.
Yeah, it's like kind of a self-finding journey because he like, I think what happens is that I think his friend buys him tickets to just go.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah, the film within the film is exactly that. It's literally a self-reflection film. A music conductor that takes work over his actual life. Essentially his wife leaves him and blah blah blah, takes the kids with him kind of thing
because he chose music over them.
Yeah, and he goes off to this random land that
Swiss? It's like, no, it was like the Swiss Alps.
Is it Swiss Alps?
Yeah,
because you can actually exactly how it actually is, like it's a real place.
Like they went to location.
That was really cool.
I know. I love the random goat scene. They're just like, what do we do? Add them in.
Just let it happen. Or like, oh no, the problem was they needed the goats, but all the goats ran off because of what happened.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they didn't have enough goats to work with it. So like the cool idea was like, well, there's fog. Use more smoke.
And standees.
And then suddenly he goes through an out-of-body experience to like deal with his own demons. And then like that was cool.
Like that's the movie within the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's what makes it exciting because I was interested in the movie within the movie. I was like,
I want to watch that one.
Well, yeah, I just want to watch this. Especially like, oh my god, the scene that they do when he first decides he wanted to do an Aria, and they're like,
oh yeah,
and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like super into it. The takes that he took, my god, this dude is like he's like a mixture between like every single like serious actor that's just Oscars upon Oscars kind of person. Like he's unnecessarily good for like no reason. And I'm not putting shit on the other character because the other character's unnecessarily good too for a beginner.
Yeah, like she was like a first time actress and she's got a lead role.
Like a lead role. One, she got a lead role because she was perfect for the character.
And she never had any acting classes until then.
That was crazy.
I love that they made her like they had her pretty much live in with like the professional actress from like the very first movie that you see them filming.
Yeah. Then that actress scared me because she was
she was good. I won't lie, I have expected her to try and like sabotage her, but I'm really glad that they didn't make her be that type of Hollywood actress.
It's just more. She actually cares so much about her. That was the thing. She cares so much that she was like, no. Don't put my name in it. Make sure it's not me because she has to. She
ends up doing a role.
Yeah, because she
plays the young wife. That's what.
Yeah, but like the big like problem in the big incident basically in it is that he decides he wants to do reshoots and they're already low on funding, and then something happens. Because
high school friend who's in banking.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that when he decides to do reshoots, it's hard to get funding for that, especially for
get the cast and the
all of everybody back together. And he's like, I gotta do it, and everyone's like, okay. We'll see.
Make this work.
And it goes through a bunch of stuff, and it's nice. I like that they added the friend from the bank and not like just made him a throwaway character. He's clearly like, he had his own weirdly an actual character development. Yeah, like in it, like
he's barely there within the movie, but
yeah, but he's not a dick either. He's just a guy that was like elite and like had everything for him. And
like he was popular.
Yeah, he thought he could just kind of breeze his way through, and then realize he had literally no purpose. And so he decided, after seeing his high school classmate, to be like, all right, I'm going to take this seriously. I might lose my job for this, but it's going to happen.
Damn near almost did.
Oh, yeah. He should have, honestly and truly.
Yeah. He's lucky that the owner of the bank was just like, you know what? Let's do it. The owner's like, we make dreams come true. That's our motto. So that's never been our motto. It is now.
He's supposed to be the Walt Disney of like,
I guess
like
so.
banks. Like, I guess like that was the weird.
I don't know.
I didn't know how to think. I did enjoy. I was very tense like that entire.
I know. Time. It's just like
because I was like this is the first time in a long time I actually in film like felt actual tension in it, because like it could have literally gone everywhere, and I've honestly been okay. I wouldn't say okay with it, but it made sense. Like if they didn't get the reshoot, it would have made sense because that's how it is, and they could have like continued on to another movie he had. But instead, they like gave you the satisfaction, but it like gut-wrenching satisfaction, along with the fact that he had to like almost kill himself to like get that done for the reshoot. And then again, back to the woman that ends up playing the his mother, right?
Or not the mother, the young wife.
Is that the young?
Yeah.
You're right. It is the young wife. So like that was the cool part, is that like she like was like she's
like, I'll do
that
it.
Went crazy. Remember that scene where she's like before they decided that, and she was like, they were like still within like filming, and she just like picks up the script and she's like talking up. You just see her like,
yeah, she's into it. She's like,
just like muttering the script. And I was like, ooh, I want to do this script, but you're not. But I can't do that because I'm taken away from her, kind of thing. And then I loved that when she was like at the end, it was like, I don't want to do anything that director did unless I'm the lead, basically.
Pretty much.
Like it was like, after this, I don't want to do any other film unless I'm the lead, because I want to be the lead in that. And it's like the ideals, like she's the diva, but she's not a diva. Like she's like a young, she could be a young,
I don't know who you're talking about, so I don't know.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because of how good she is. Yeah, she done a lot of action films. So she's like a mixture between Meryl Streep, so the woman I'm thinking about.
There's a lot of really good Hollywood actresses.
Yeah, but I'm like thinking about like cool like action. Charlize Theron.
So
I was like, I noticed somebody I'm thinking about. Charlize Theron. That's what I was thinking about. But yeah, the whole thing has a lot of like good like actual like points into filmmaking. It really puts in like the idea of the filmmaking process in a compact way.
Yeah, enough that you can understand what's going on, and it also helps that the directors that created the movie, the actual physical movie that we watched, the movie within a movie within a movie, Inception. No, so they actually they went to Hollywood. I didn't actually go to Hollywood because I couldn't at the time, but they talked to people from Hollywood and stuff, and talked to like, how does this work? Because American Hollywood, which is what they based it off of,
Mhm.
versus Japanese Hollywood,
It's very different.
very different.
The way budgeting works is very different. Funding works is
Mhm.
very different.
It might be similar in certain cases, but it's a
It's
different atmosphere. It's a different way of filming. It's a different way
yeah,
of storytelling.
yeah. I would say all the stuff in Hollywood is so different, and I haven't watched a lot of Japanese films in a long time. But from what I remember, there's not what's the difference? Like one is like, you have to really do a good pitch in the US.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like studios want to make money in the end and they don't want to waste time on something they don't care about.
Yeah.
Japanese is sort of the same way, but it's more so has to do with a um like a certain set of tradition that comes along with
Yes.
the filmmaking process. Um Whereas in America it's I wouldn't say it's more fast loose, but there's a lot more trust in like different stuff as long as it's interesting.
Yes.
I rarely see that many different things in Japan, like in terms of who works and what. At least in today, like
I will say that Japan's also not afraid to do almost what we would consider B grade style movies, but they're all like, "Oh my god, this is amazing," and we're over here in the U.S. going, "It's fine."
hmm
I.e., Godzilla 2000.
yeah. Well, B grade. The difference is like B grade for them is like up here. That's B grade to us because that's like it kind of just
Because the effects are their effects are so greatly different from what our studio effects can do.
well, they don't have as much money as we do.
I know
That's
that's
the
why I'm
main
saying it's
reason.
so different.
But I think
It's not bad. It's
I
just
think sometimes it's innovative, like depending on the movie. Like
what I will give Japan this for certain things. They are not afraid to do a lot of live action stuff. Like the best I can give is Rurouni Kenshin, just because like that's the most I
Mhm.
can think about. Because you're dealing with something like in the anime, it's very elaborate moves that don't really exist, but you can sort of tie them into actual like martial arts stuff.
Mhm.
But in real life, it's very hard to pull those moves off because he's supposed to be like impossibly fast.
Mhm.
And sorry, I got like hair.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stunts he either did himself to a certain extent, or they had a stunt double come in, and you actually get to see him do it,
Right.
and it's really cool because you're like, okay, it kind of gives a little bit more realism to it.
Yeah, no,
But
you're
you can
right.
also see parts that are like very much they're CG or they're wire tricks.
I think most of it was wire. I think
Oh, a
almost
good
all
chunk
of
of
it.
it's gonna be wire. There's one part where he's almost parallel to the ground running. It's
Yeah.
that's wire.
Yeah. There's well, like I would say Rurouni Kenshin is like an outlier in terms of movies because I would say
Yeah.
that is definitely a higher budgeted movie that I would see in American audience.
I want to
Um,
know what went on in the producer's head that did the live action Attack on Titan to deviate so much from the source material.
I don't know. It happens more often. Do you think?
I know. Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah.
Death Note,
Well,
Attack
Death
on
Note's our
Titan.
fault, not their fault.
No, their live action one kind of deviates a bit too.
Oh, you're talking about
The
you're
first
talking about
one.
their first ones.
Yeah, not the
the
Netflix.
first two.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it did, and it was boring as hell.
yeah, it was.
Especially the second one.
Oh my god.
That version, I already hated Mello. How do you make Mello even more stupid? uh, I know some people have that thought. It was like, well, Nero's worse. I thought Nero was fine. I mean, yeah, he's a Mary Sue, but yeah.
Yeah, it just I mean, that conversation kind of goes back to like certain things translate better
hmm
than others. But what's the other movie we ended up watching? Oh, we ended up having a watch party for Bubble.
Yeah. So
The Bubbles or Bubble?
Bubble.
Bubble. Okay.
So Bubble is like kind of cool for our case because a lot of big names were on it,
Mm-hmm.
including director who was director of the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan and various other things, Kabanari and a couple other things that came out. Like kind of a legend of newer directors these days. You had the writer of God, I forgot his name, but it's like he done a lot of stuff too.
You want me to look it up real quick?
Gin something. That's all I remember.
Let's see here.
But you also have the character design of one of my favorite artists of all time, Takashi Obata. Love that character design so much, and it's very obvious. The animation was done by Wit Studio, if you haven't noticed.
Yarp.
And it's like the staff from like early Attack on Titan stuff, and a lot of it looks like just as good as like third season, like a human fighting level stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was
Tell me voice actors, but I'm not getting.
Should get the writer. Are you in the wiki?
I am now.
You gotta check the side page of it.
Directed by Tetsuro Araki
Mm-hmm.
and written by Jin Urobuchi.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember.
You have feature characters designed by Takashi Obada
Mhm.
and music composed by
Sawano.
Hiroyuki Sawano.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big hitters in there, including the voice actor too, going and like do it. So it's basically a semi sci-fi telling of a Little Mermaid, kind of.
Yeah, it's
With
straight
parkour?
it's straight up a sci-fi, like a post-apocalyptic.
But only for a specific area of Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo.
Tokyo. Well,
Because everything happens in
Because it wasn't the
Tokyo.
entire thing of Tokyo. It was like
No,
it was like the center of Tokyo,
Mhm.
right where Tokyo Tower is, because that's where the epicenter
Yeah.
essentially was.
Yeah, it was basically Shibuya. Is that what?
No.
No, not Shibuya. I forgot where exactly that is located. My apologies. But yeah, it's essentially a sort of a retelling of the Little Mermaid.
In a sense.
And it's meta because it also references the original Hans Christian.
Yeah. Hans
It's-
Christian Andersen.
Anderson. Thank you. I was trying to remember his last name. Of the actual Little Mermaid. You know, the sad one.
Yeah.
So
The real one.
the real one, because the other one, Disney one, sucks. I don't care what you have to say. Fight me.
But no, it was an interesting take on it. And there was definitely parts where I was like, yes, I see you did Vivi.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Because I forgot about that they did Vivi, and he directed that too, and I was just like, okay, just painting faces, sure,
Well,
it's fine.
here's another cool part about doing like the painted scenes is because there's minimal movement within that scene that actually saves budget for them.
I mean, it does. Is it funny that like I think that's, and this was one of the things where I was getting at, it was like some of the best parts of like what studio can do, because those scenes, like those picturesque scenes, we've seen them in Vivi and we've always liked them.
Yeah.
But we always had complaints about when it happened sometimes, because it just seemed like it was just doing it just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
It had a reason for every single one of them.
Because it matched the atmosphere of what was going on.
Definitely so.
Whereas Vivi, you're like, that's random. Okay.
Yeah. So to explain the actual plot of it, the real plot of it is suddenly at normal time in Tokyo, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Suddenly bubbles show up out of nowhere. We don't know. We're assuming they're aliens. Don't worry about it. So bubbles show up, and then suddenly
they collect and accumulate so much, and then at some point they start bursting and flooding that area of Tokyo, and then for whatever reason the epicenter, like this huge weird vortex epicenter, happens at Tokyo Tower.
Yeah, it sets up this entire like bubble,
dome bubble,
like literally a giant dome bubble, like outside of it. After like a year or two, something like, I think a few years, quite a bit of years actually. So during that time, a bunch of kids and people decided to go into the bubble for no reason.
A lot of them are orphans, either because of the event or they're just miscreants who are just like fudge the rules, don't care.
Yeah, and they're all are basically foreigners and parkourers, and they all decide to basically have their own society, and they do these battleground like parkour
for supplies
fights
and stuff.
For trades of supplies and things, which is weird because none of them are like hate each other at all. They just all like kind of take each other's supplies for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong. No one's like really trying to. Well, some people are trying to kill people.
One particular team.
Like they do some shady shit. I mean, they don't. You know what's funny? They don't necessarily try to kill them.
They damn near tried.
They did really close. I will say that. But yeah. So that's the main premise. And Parkour, the anime. My God, is the scenes of Parkour.
Dude, like how many times did they? I'm trying to figure out I'm pretty sure they probably did like either watch videos of parkour or actually went out and watched live action parkour.
I would assume so. They had to.
They had to.
No way. I wouldn't find it hard because consuming that type of content is everywhere.
And
I would just watch anything from France that has to do with free running and parkour and be perfectly fine. Okay, is it coming off?
No, I need to go like this way further, but it won't because it just goes up.
Oh, pull this way.
I was. Son of a.
So I said pull this way.
Don't judge me. I know how this works.
Do you?
No.
So like, yeah, it would have been easy to watch a Parkour the anime. The thing about the scenes is what makes it so great. So like, if you watch AOT, which I would hope you've had,
Yeah.
you have had. I hope you have.
By now.
Basically, if you watch the third season, anything that has to do with the Kinney scene, it is that pretty much the entire time.
It's not as wild, frantic movements as that. These are definitely
I meant
controlled.
the quality of
Oh
animation.
no, yeah.
Like, not necessarily the movements that are exactly the same. I would say the only time that's exactly like that is when,
maybe on the roofs.
yeah, what is her name? What do they call her?
Uh,
Utah.
Oh yeah.
Utah
'cause
and
she can
no,
sing.
what's the main character's name? uh, main guy, because that's the other thing too. So the main character, what's wrong with him? He has super high sensitive hearing. It's a disorder apparently. It's a real
Hibiki.
disorder, huh?
Hibiki.
Hibiki. It's a real disorder. I don't remember the name of it, but it's basically
something. It's almost as if he's on the autism spectrum.
yes.
Of not being able to handle a lot of noise.
Yeah, and so it makes him super sensitive for noises at some point. And like his shtick is that he could hear the actual song, the song that the bubbles speak in.
They speak music.
They speak one song. Unless you have the one scene of them, parkouring together like before the competition.
They synced up together and they were able to parkour.
Yeah, that is the only time it's like of the same level. That in the actual like battlecore. I think it's battlecore. The battlecore that they participate in, the last one before the big plot comes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Utah, to explain, is a bubble. Basically one of the bubbles who you learn later, spoiler alert, has saved Hibiki when he was a kid and the building exploded.
Yep, because he was at Tokyo Tower when the whole thing went down.
Yeah, basically in Utah, like in the stories, decides to save him again later when he's drowning because he tried to get on top of the tower.
Yep.
And she becomes a person. Don't ask me why.
The magic of alien bubbles.
Yeah. Aliens. I'm pretty sure we were talking about this the whole time we were watching it the first time.
We're pretty sure they're aliens of some sort.
We were pretty sure that Trigger like had something to do with it because we were sitting there, asking the whole time. I was like, well, where the fuck the bubbles come from? Like how does that happen? Like
they kind of hinted that they came from the outer space because of like what you see at the very beginning of like explaining like where they came from.
Yeah, and there's a point where like when the bubbles come in, they
does float in from outer space.
Yeah, it like does a shoot from outer space into that area, like right towards Tokyo.
Yeah,
so like it's assumed there's some sort of organic life being from space. Similar to like what was it called, the flames in Promare.
Well, they were from like a parallel dimension type BS.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they were not the bubbles but the flames.
Oh, I forgot about that. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah, they're like it's like a parallel dimension type thing that they got stuck in our world and.
Oh, okay, okay. But like yeah, so the bubbles, she becomes a bubble, she becomes a human and saves him. They decide he brings her with them and she couldn't talk at first, blah blah blah, very much like in the anime, but every time she touches him specifically, she turns into foam, or
she starts to
turn to foam, so she avoids touching him for most of the time, until certain parts that kind of have no choice, and eventually, spoiler alert, she has to die.
But she doesn't really die.
She turns into foam. Two different things.
She turns into foam and then kind of returns to the bubbles, sort of.
Right.
Because at the end, they kind of hint that she's still technically like with the bubbles.
Yeah, well, like it almost is if she's taken over all the bubbles, and all the bubbles is now just, well, not necessarily all the bubbles are her, but all of the bubbles are good, and then like basically they're just everywhere.
Think hive sentient.
Yeah, and they saved the world. They stopped war. There is no more fighting because bubbles.
Because bubbles. It's that part's a little trippy and mind thing. Like you have to go back and like watch it a few times to go, what the fuck is happening?
I love that the end.
Like it's pretty, it's beautiful, it sounds great, but you watch it and you go, I don't fully understand what's happening.
I love at the end they decide to remember that she read all of these books that about like how much war has been happening. I was like, well, at the end, well, not on my book.
Yeah,
no one's killing people today. Yeah, I did like so there was a cool way of like doing a power, which is basically like understanding what is happening with the song is by like the bubble just kind of popping onto the person.
Mm,
It only happens for two people, but yeah,
yeah,
it's the two people that matter. It's
yeah.
fine. But back to the action. So, all of the people are very typical characters. I would
Mm,
say like those is my issues with the series, the movie. One is the plot is it's not that big of a deal. It's Little Mermaid. Like
yeah,
honestly and truly, it's not like you're
like boiled down, it's the
it's
Little
not like you're
Mermaid plot.
breaking too much of stuff. Two is the other characters are not that interesting. Like you kind of have your one dimensional characters outside of Hibiki. Like you have Yuki Kaiji's like very very like serious character who
Hmm.
like is just trying to get stuff done kind of thing, and I can't tell if he has a crush on the scientist or not or whatever.
No, they're good friends.
Okay, that makes
Because
sense.
he it hints that he has a wife and daughter, but they may have perished during the Tokyo Tower event.
Wait, are we talking about the same person?
Was it the scientist with the prosthetic leg?
No, not him.
Oh,
I'm talking about the guy that looks more the redhead guy that was
oh
voiced
no,
by
yeah, he had a crush on the
yeah
scientist.
the one that was voiced by Yuki Kaiji.
No, yeah, he had a crush on the scientist.
aka Aaron Yeager. But like, yeah, all the characters are kind of one dimensional except for those two. Like, his the prosthetic leg character because you got backstory, and then you got the scientist who just cared, like really cared.
She cared, but she's also there to figure out to study the whole environment that was created because of said event.
If anything, she was the only person there that actually had a real purpose.
Yeah, she
Honestly
let them
and
boys
truly,
live on her ship rent
yeah.
free.
Hibiki is not much of a character at all. He is
He's just
he's pretty one dimensional. He's just Sasuke number 1500 or number 2.
he just happens to be really good at parkour.
Yeah, he's just really good at parkour because of his sensitive hearing, really. But I mean, it helps. It's awesome. It makes the
Well,
scenes really cool.
it kind of also plays into the whole like because they never actually say he's autistic. They kind of just hint at
It's
it.
hence, but they don't. They say specifically it's a disorder that he has, but they don't specify that it is a disorder that is of because he's the spectrum. It's a like
A hearing disorder. Well, the reason I
yeah.
think it was part of the spectrum is because she leaves him with like
Oh,
the special class
like the
essentially.
ESE class.
Yeah,
I think that's where I was getting at too. Is like it has to be deriving from some
and
sort of
and in
like
Japan, if you are other, if you are not normal in terms of like just
you're kind of just shipped off into like
you're
a
either shipped
class
off
and-
or you're the shame of the family.
wow.
Even if they take care of you, you're still the
Okay.
shame of the family.
Was that the case? Oh
Because like if you remember in Silent Voice,
yeah.
like the whole like after her father, like the death girl, like after her father passed away, the entire extended family treated them like absolute shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sucked. Well, I was also like gonna go different with like what was it? Was Fruits Basket felt like that? Or like
Well, Fruits Basket was that they never approved of her mother because her mother had been a
mm,
delinquent and they didn't think that she deserved to be with him, and they kind of probably slightly blamed her for whatever his death was.
whatever.
Because I haven't watched the extended because that came out, the anime that was about the mom and dad.
Oh, did that come out?
Yeah, that's already been out.
Oh shit.
I just haven't watched it yet, but
Well, it's not available for Western audience yet, is it? It only came out in Japan so far. We probably should get it eventually.
I mean,
Probably.
if it's not on Crunchyroll yet, I don't remember.
Well, it's not. It just came out like what, like a month or two ago.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's still just in Japan then.
But yeah, it's essentially
because it's just an OVA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, the movie Bubble, it's hinted at. They never actually outright say. They just say that he has a disorder where he's heightened
Right.
hearing.
Yeah. But back to the very boring characters.
Yeah.
yeah. Most of the that is my main complaint, honestly and truly, in the entire series is none of the characters have much of a personality. They're all kind of one dimensional, including Hibiki. Honestly, that's not the focus of it.
No.
But if that bothers you, just understand that that's the case. Like none of them like do anything really interesting in the amount of time that it is because it's a fairly short movie.
They hint at like something about spirals. Spirals.
Oh, spirals. Okay.
Yeah, like because like they talk about how like it's theorized that the spiral is because it's an actual mathematical theory that the spiral is like the
Oh, okay.
perfect
Hey, Tyler.
unit. Hi, Talon. The perfect shape or because you find that shape a lot within nature and everything. So it's
Oh, okay.
thought to be like some sort of I don't fully know the theory, but I'm
Yeah.
aware of it. So like they mentioned that in there, and then you see that happening a lot throughout the entire anime, even with when like at the climax of the movie with like this bubbles spiraling and everything. So
Yeah.
it's just like were they trying to go somewhere with that because it didn't fully make sense.
No, totally.
But it would also tie into the fact that if Trigger had their hands on it in some way, because
God. But out of the negative to another positive, the music, because Sawano, he does it again. Just as simple
oh
as
my
that.
god,
It's
The-
like it's very different
the
from other
musical
stuff.
scores throughout the entire anime were beautiful.
Now, mind you, the score is very different from all those other scores because they're not like super fantasy like stuff. So it's more modern and contemporary,
Mhm.
but it's so good and it so works
So
for what it
pretty.
is. Like you would think hearing ha 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 is annoying as fuck when you hear it all the damn time, but it works. Like it's good design. Like it works and it's purpose.
I
It has a
figured out.
purpose for it.
I figured out what the entire theme of that movie is.
What?
It's parkour, the anime meets Little Mermaid meets First Contact.
Oh God. First Contact. All right. Wait, as in Star Wars First Contact or
no.
Star Trek's First Contact?
No.
Oh no, you mean wait, which First Contact are you talking about? Are you talking about
Is it First Contact? It's the one where like they play the piano and they contact through the lights and the music.
Oh, you're talking about Stranger Things.
No.
Oh no, the piano and lights. Oh God. I think it is First Contact. I think you're right.
Okay.
I think it's been a long time. Like I'll look it up later, but like I'm pretty sure that's the
But
case.
that's what that like everything we're describing. That's what that reminds me of.
No,
an
it
amalgamation of all that.
No, that definitely makes sense. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, booby loving
But-
the scritches.
But yeah, it was super fun. It was super fun to watch. In terms of like, I don't rate movies. I'm not that type of person. But
We rated by was it entertaining?
I do say it's on Netflix,
Just watch
and it's
it.
gonna be in theaters
Is it?
next week. Yeah, May 14th.
Oh.
We were gonna be available for it. That's also why I was like, let's do a watch party because we'll.
The watch party was more fun anyway.
It was more fun. I mean, we didn't pay attention to half of it, but it was so much fun. We were all drinking.
We were drinking. We were having fun.
Yeah, I'm on you. We got the gist of it for all of it.
Yeah, it's
like-
not that hard of a movie to follow per se. It's just there are certain aspects that you're like it doesn't fully explain what's going on or explain like the nature of it, but
Yeah.
you get the gist of what's happening
I think
for
like
the main two characters.
yeah, after watching it 2 times, I'm honestly okay with not watching it again.
I would
Not that
I
I
would
don't
watch
like it.
scenes.
Yeah, not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't see the movie as a whole. I wouldn't say not that great, but a movie as a whole is, I would say, a solid movie, solid watch. You'll be fine. It's a short movie, so it's not like taking
Yeah.
out of your most of your time. I think it's a solid like 90 minutes, right?
How long is it?
I think it's like 90 minutes. 90 minutes.
Running time 100 minutes.
100 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Including credits.
What's your
that's
favorite part about this movie? It's under 90 minutes.
No, it's exactly 90 minutes.
It's
That's
exactly
what it was.
90 minutes.
Because it was exactly what she said. Back at that's
the
Pompo.
Pompo, yeah.
Yeah, that was satisfying.
Anyway, like
and that's the difference, like between the two movies, and that's why I wanted to talk about these two movies. Pompo has something that like scratches an itch for me as a person that loves film.
yeah.
Like it just scratches that itch, and I want to watch it again because like I feel like I missed some stuff that I really want to like get into and like decipher and shit. Decipher.
Decipher. Decipher, yes.
Decipher. That's how you have to say it. Decipher.
I don't know what he's trying to tell me to do.
That sounds like a new shirt. Decipher. There's just someone just squinting.
With a die.
So like yeah, but like between the two, I think Bubble is a flex movie, right? It is a Wit Studio saying, how much can I flex when I have a movie budget?
Look how
And
pretty.
including
Look how pretty.
Netflix movie budget specifically, right? I think they got the luck of the draw before Netflix is dealing with certain shit and
Why are you like
cutting
this?
animation budget.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Miguel, no.
But yeah, like Bubble is a fun movie to watch. It
Mm.
is great. It is entertaining,
It's
popcorn shit.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's great. Action's amazing. It's just like it's such a
Plot
flex.
wise,
It's a flex. Plot wise
eh.
is okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's gonna top the world, but that's the thing for me is that like I love stuff like that. I think it's fun and
Mm.
has its place.
Yeah.
But I always gravitate towards the movies that make me want to like really get into shit. And I already was obsessed with film in the first place, and I love the idea of filmmaking in general. This, if you are a filmmaker
Pompanos.
or Pompo,
Excuse me.
but like if you're a filmmaker or is wanting to get into filmmaking, this is a great anime. I wouldn't say it teaches you everything, but it gives you
No.
inspiration. It's a cool way of understanding how people get inspired to do things and how even like anybody can do filmmaking and make it work. It's not impossible, and it works. And it didn't even matter if like they did really really well. It was the fact that it was just a movie that everybody was a part of, and it was very satisfying to watch. So like in terms of the two, Pompo is definitely my favorite of the movies that I've watched in terms of anime movies so far.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another anime movie we're going to be watching anytime soon. I can't remember.
Not that I've seen
No.
come out. Like the last one.
Not unless I come out of nowhere with
Yeah.
another movie. I'm like,
No,
yo, dog, let's go tonight.
I wouldn't put past you. The one we watched before those two was Belle, and that was just a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, essentially.
And you know what's funny? I preferred Bubble over Belle in terms
Agreed.
of retellings. Like, because
Because Belle was obvious as fuck. Well, I mean, it's even in the name.
No, I would say Belle is obvious, but it didn't do it the way I would want it to.
No.
Like it like,
The
but
ending-
it doesn't, and it also didn't feel right because the beast in this situation is a child who's being abused. That was the point of it, which kind of really gears his head. Where at
first you're thinking, oh, is this romantic thing happening online, and then they'll find each other? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it just twists on his head, which some people would think that's really great, right?
Yeah.
The problem with it is the entirety of the plot at the climax of the movie, where you're basically dealing with like, okay, these kids are being abused. We need to find a way to make them out of it. But no one is close to them. No one is like, knows these people personally.
No.
And this whole shtick is basically sing your way past.
Well, it was the kid, when they find out who each other are, he doesn't trust her.
Right.
Because to him, he's been abused his entire life. So
why trust anybody?
Why
right?
anybody older than him? Why trust them? So he doesn't. Once after that, he stops trusting her. So one of the things that she does is she goes in to try and find him again, and her friends are one of her friends that she goes to high school with is like a childhood friend is like, you're gonna have to take the mask off, essentially, like the avatar that they have in the digital world. Like, you're gonna have to take it off. You want to gain his trust. He
Right.
has to see you for you.
Well, yeah, but the problem I had, right, is
Yeah.
not even about that. That was cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the climax of the movie.
Oh,
Where-
when she just decides to up and go to Tokyo to try and save these kids.
She randomly decides to go to Tokyo, saves his kid, and it's not even really a save, it's just showing up, essentially.
Because you don't really know what happens.
And it's not, that was the most unrealistic part, too, is like, that's not how abusers don't just stop, like, afterwards.
Well, I think it's assumed that, like, she got them out of the house and then took them to somewhere because, like, they had evidence that he was abusing them.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that doesn't always mean that you'll be moved out of the house. That's not
I know.
That's not how that works. That's why I made that joke when they were like, I wonder what happened to the kids. And I was like, oh, they did. Like you like, I don't know, like, this dude looks like he will not change. Like,
No.
like, so like it's only takes like, one more thing to happen for him to just go off the rails.
Yeah.
Especially since he was drinking majority of the time anyways.
Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't like he showed any sense of remorse that entire time either.
No.
And that was the
It's
problem.
just he backed down because somebody stood up to him for the first time.
And that's what I'm saying is that like it didn't seem like he showed any remorse. He just kind of like, oh well, I guess I'll have to stop for now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like having an issue with.
It just kind of leaves it off. Like, she got after that, like, they're like, yeah, we're free now, and then she goes back to her town. But
I wish.
why
I mean,
not take them with you?
I know they wanted to be different with it, and I know that Hosoda wanted to be different with it,
Mhm.
kind of, sort of. But I really, and wanted to make a statement. Essentially, I really wish he would have just stuck to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cliche, right? But it was interesting. Like, everything about it, the way it was done was interesting. The fact that she's accidental pop idol in the internet kind
Yeah.
of thing. Because that said so much more about like of commentary about like modern today is like idolism and like how idolism is like affecting people in like
Yeah.
these normal people in the country kind of thing when they had no reason to. The pressure that they have to deal with that. It was cool to like deal with that small bit
That
that
and
went
that
in there.
ability, and also dealing with that ability to people don't realize who you are in the real world, so you can be yourself in this imagined world.
Right, and because her struggle was the fact that she couldn't sing anymore because of her mother's
Because of
death.
the tragedy, because the
Yeah.
tragedy of her mother's death.
Yeah, like spoiler alert. Watch Belle.
It's
Shut
kind of
up.
like right in the beginning,
Yeah,
so
I think you know. Well,
haven't
main
seen it.
characters don't have parents. What are
They
you
don't
talking
have both
about?
parents.
They don't get both parents. That's how it works.
Duh.
You're not allowed to have.
Anime
If they
costume.
have both parents, something
Something's
is wrong. Like Horimiya, right? The dad is an estranged dad who is a deadbeat ass.
No, he actually works. It's just his work keeps him out a lot
Doesn't
of
make
times.
him less of a deadbeat.
Is he though?
He is. I wouldn't say deadbeat dad in terms of like he's just lazy and
Okay,
like,
yeah.
he's kind of a piece of shit.
He's just there.
he's just there, and he's not really responsible at all.
I ended up rewatching like that scene where he shows up, and I love like because I watched it in English because I wanted to see
The
what
first
it was
time
like.
he did.
No, yeah, and I wanted to rewatch it in English because I was curious to see how it sounded like in English. Because we first watched it in Japanese, and I just love the part he's like, "You think you can date my daughter?" And he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Nah, I'm just fucking with you."
It's like for no reason.
I just wanted to say that.
He is not a very responsible person, but when he is responsible and he's working, is really interesting. How
like
hot.
suddenly he's super serious and hotter.
Oh my god! Like okay, so you read all of Horimiya at this point, right? Or you finished it?
No, I mean I finished the anime and I'm sort of through the books. I just haven't gotten all of them.
You haven't finished the manga. Okay, I mean it's not really obvious what happens. I mean, it's not really. No, you gotta read it. There are some parts that like happen that I wouldn't say you wouldn't expect it, but I don't want to tell you it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But did you read the panel when you first see him going to work? Like you like there's a
no,
point. I he's like, oh yeah, it's his friend that was from high school that they avoid all the time. That he avoids him all the time because it's the same. What's his name? It's one of the friends, like the school president, class president, because that's his father. Because it's his father, and they went to high school together, and they were friends. Reluctantly, but like you like there's a panel, there's a couple panels in there where they running each other on accident, and basically.
No, I haven't gotten there, but.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
So there's a part where you actually see him actually in dress makeup, and he has his hair tied up in a bow.
I think I saw a panel of that, like somebody showed it online, and I was just like, well, damn.
Yeah, he has his hair tied up in a
dress
bun.
up.
Dude, he looks so unnecessarily hot for no reason. Back to Belle, because we're going off track.
Yeah.
So like that was my problem with Belle, is that like it just went off the rails.
Yeah, it was going good, and then it went left field.
Bubble does do cliche like Little Mermaid following Hans Christian, but it didn't need to go that far because all the other parts was interesting enough to keep you watching.
Yeah.
Like, honestly and truly, if you want to watch Bubble, it is a beautiful, well-made, well-directed, like, movie.
Yeah.
Does the story mean much? No. Are the characters,
are they
much to say? No. They don't have much of a personality at all.
Not even the two main characters, Uta and Hibiki.
Uta is literally like, oh god, Uta is literally just like a cat, and that's it.
For real, the way she acted?
She's just like a kitten, like basically.
Like everything's new.
Hibiki again is like Sasuke number 1502.
A little bit more personality, but not quite. Not quite.
No, Sasuke had more personality than he did. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like he kind of like just, and I'm not faulting him. Like maybe they just did well with putting him on the spectrum, but he doesn't really talk much, and he spends the whole time just kind of be like, I don't want to talk to anybody kind of thing.
Yeah, trying to be the loner type.
Yeah, he was being the loner type until Uta came into play, and then suddenly he cares to a point.
I mean,
super soon.
Yeah. I mean, so either way, both movies, Pompo and Bubble, are really good. So we get a chance to watch them. One's a little bit more accessible than the other because one came out in theaters for a short time, and the other one is on Netflix.
Yeah, Bubble's on Netflix, so look out for that. And if you want to watch Pompo, eventually it's gonna be on Blu-ray. Hopefully it'll be on some streaming service. I'm not sure. Sometimes it is. I remember Ride Your Wave ends up on Ride Your Wave ends up like on either Crunchyroll or
It was on Netflix.
it's Netflix. So maybe Netflix will pick it up. Netflix ends up picking up a
Did
lot
it?
of G Kid stuff.
Did it end up on Netflix?
It ended up somewhere because we ended up watching Ride Your Wave at home.
Or was it Amazon?
I think it might have been Amazon. It's gonna end up on the streaming. It's gonna end up on the streaming servers. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But next week, excitement. We're
Yee.
going to MegaCon in Orlando.
Yes.
MegaCon is something that we end up going almost every year.
Give or take.
Almost like there was a break in between like college and a few years ago. We always like say we're not gonna go because we're like
It's expensive.
It's expensive. Like, well, it's expensive for us to do it because especially for something we glorify as just a big vendors hall. We end up going always for either a guest or like
Or because one of our artist friends ends
Yeah.
up working it and we want to go support them.
or like we're in this case it's kind of both where we go because we wanted to meet people and then it's mostly because a good friend of our Lydia, you remember her on the other parts of the podcast, was like, you going? Yeah, I'm going. Let's all cosplay. Sell
Group
work.
cosplay. I haven't done a group cosplay since my very first con.
The last time I did a group cosplay like was at college, TCC, when we did that Bleach group cosplay and did the photo shoot there.
No, yeah, my last group cosplay was SakuraCon when me and Elise did Chrono Crusade.
Yeah. So for me, this will be my first official group cosplay for a convention. So
And we are doing cells at work.
yeah, I will be a killer T cell, and
I will be a macrophage.
and then we have Lydia being a platelet, and then we have our friend Kevin
Who's
going
going
to
to be a cell.
yeah. I still wish we could have a red blood cell, but we'll steal somebody when we're at the con.
If we find somebody who's a blood red cell.
I think it's possible. Last year we saw quite a bit. Oh well, last year
was like
last year Code Black and the second season came out, so
maybe we can find a super depressed red blood cell.
oh god, please.
Come on, let's go back to the healthy cell.
Well, either that or white blood cell. I'm more like, well, no, because like white blood cells was even harder to find.
I saw like 2 or 3, but I mostly saw dude ones.
I remember seeing, I think at Pensacon, the one like red blood cell.
Yeah,
like that was it.
I saw a few at MetroCon last year.
Okay, MetroCon is a blur to me right now.
Same. I just vaguely remember certain cosplays. So I was like, oh, okay.
Literally only remember sitting at the tables when we worked there, and that's pretty much it. And then drinking.
Remember trying not to gag on that poor onigiri.
Oh,
that was my fault for
I'm
choosing
so
that
sorry.
flavor.
Because you got, what did you get?
I got tuna mayo. Because I thought it would taste like a tuna sandwich, but the seaweed would add too much sea flavor. So it tasted terrible, and I kept gagging.
Yeah, the best one was for me was the not Jamaican jerk. It was like some sort
that one was a good one.
It was really
like
good.
A pulled pork something.
It was so good.
I'm looking forward to. So okay, Brendan Fraser is going to be there for a second day because he was only going to be there Saturday, but now he's going to be there Sunday.
Correct.
Debating whether I want to go get his autograph.
Mm-hmm.
That's still up in the air. We have your Nathan Fillion
Addy
photo op.
Addy was super nice of me and got an autograph session for me.
No, it's a photo session. You didn't want the autograph.
Oh yeah, a photo session. If I get autograph, we'll see.
Go stand in line.
Yeah.
I am determined to get LeVar Burton's autograph officially.
Yeah, we have to remember to actually grab it so that we don't.
Well, I was going to put it in a bag like the night before.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I was just saying, like, we gotta remember to take it. That's all I was saying. Are you gonna take it, like, frame it all, or are you just gonna?
Do I want Brent Spiner to sign it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's on it.
He is on it. That is true.
But do I want to pay for another autograph?
I don't know.
Like, I love Brent Spiner. He's a cool dude. Love him. Great actor.
I am always a person that don't
LeVar Burton.
meet people multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, most of the people I've met multiple times is because I've worked with them.
Do we want to try and say hi to Dante? If one of the days
permits. It was like the same thing we were doing with like Chris and like Zach.
Yeah.
Where it was like if
the line is permissible.
If the line doesn't suck, sure. But like I'm not,
because a lot of them, like, there's not a lot of them are going to be there Thursday.
Right.
So we can do our shopping stuff Thursday if we want to just get that out of the way and not have to worry about it.
my thing is that I am not a fan of waiting in lines anymore. I just
No.
physically can't anymore. Like it,
Cracked me up when dad, when I told him that, oh, this is what happened with the wristband thing, he's like, oh, now I gotta stand in the line. And I'm like, I mean, if you wanted to see an actor or a voice actor, you're gonna have to stand in the line. There is no avoiding that.
yeah, like
And you're
there's
coming in on
well, no matter
Saturday,
what,
you're
there
gonna
are,
stand in the line.
no matter what, there's lines everywhere.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be you're just gonna be in lines.
You will play the shuffle game
that is-
inside the dealer's
That
hall.
is just conventions. Like you stand in line.
I
for
keep
something.
telling him. So like he's been trying to rebuild his stamina up from like being sick and stuff, and he managed to go to the mall and Walmart for about an hour,
Like
hour
in
and a
terms
half.
of walking there, or like
Like yeah, walking around.
okay,
So he managed to do it for about an hour, hour and a half. And I told Mom, I was like, "That's great. If he gets tired, one of us will just go get him a scooter or a wheelchair." And she was like, "Yeah, probably a scooter." And I said, "Well, it depends on what's available."
here's my thing. I'll just steal a scooter like the whole time, and I'll just be lazy, and just and then be like, oh here.
It's for my father. He's disabled.
Whee!
Because like I don't see, I do see him getting tired and then wanting to sit down.
No, he will get tired.
But I don't want them to like only be there for like an entire hour and then be like, okay, we're done. I'm like, 'cause I feel like that's a waste of like the money you just spent on this. Like,
Right.
especially if he decides he wants to go get like an autograph or something, if he
Mhm.
chooses to. Because I don't know, he didn't really seem all that interested in that part,
The like
autograph stuff.
autograph stuff.
He is determined. That man is on a mission.
Horror pops, if I remember.
Yes,
right?
for horror Funko Pops, for certain ones, because he has like a little mini collection of like horror movie
Yeah.
Funko Pops, and like he wants certain ones that he's missing.
Hey,
or
everybody's
Forrest
got a
Gump.
stick. Oh, there you go. Everybody's got a stick.
Which
Wait,
if-
in terms of Forrest Gump, oh, you mean as in getting the Forrest Gump
Yeah.
pop? Yeah, you're more likely to get it.
Which, if he doesn't get that, I might get that for him for Christmas.
like isn't Forrest Gump vaulted already though?
I can find out. It's a pop vinyl, apparently.
Oh, that's
Oh, that one's vaulted.
yeah. I was like, that's limited. That the vinyls
That
were
one's vaulted.
vinyls are only available at certain
Oh,
places.
it might actually be vaulted. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I was like, I know vinyls is. I thought Forrest
Yeah,
Gump
they're all
was.
vaulted.
That's what I thought. I was like, Forrest Gump has been
But-
out for a while.
Yeah, but it's not like I can't go on like Amazon or.
Well, that's not the point. In MegaCon, there is one that is insane in the amount of like vaulted stuff that they have,
so
and they don't
possibly?
sell horrible. Like as far as I've noticed,
They're reasonably priced.
They're reasonably priced. Like there's tiers to it too. So
Yeah.
like, I think they just follow like the typical like marketplace for it.
Yeah.
So it should be fine.
My goal Thursday is one, find anything I might want because I don't really have much of a large shopping list other than
Me neither.
Artist Alley and pins.
I'm not. My goal this week, that week,
Mhm.
is really just to talk to people, try to get more into the community because I
Yes.
haven't done it in a while, and that's what convention is all about. So I want to talk to
Obviously.
more people and
Networking.
like do shameless yeah, but like that's kind of what I'm focusing on, and I kind of want to get back to like the part of like conventions I like to do is just be around people and just talk to people
Yeah.
and hang out with people, party with people.
Lydia was so funny. They were talking to me about how like they were like all excited about the after party and stuff,
Mhm.
and they're happy and got everything. Then she purchased them, and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go there for an hour and then leave." And I was like, "You know what?
That's about right.
That's what I would do.
That's about right. I mean, yeah, you have to pay for it, but like,
I mean, we'll party for a
We're
little while, probably get a drink or two, and then go after like an hour."
knowing us, we'll be like, oh, cool, we went, and then decide we're just gonna grab drinks and then like just go to someone's hotel room and just
Chill out,
shoot the shit there. Yeah,
or to a bar or something. I don't know.
either to a bar or go back and grab like, goddamn, do some board games or some crap like that. You know, I'm gonna bring my Switch, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll bring mine too because entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's exciting. I don't really see us spending a whole lot because we may have gone a little overboard last time.
Last year we spent. I think we spent a little bit. Like we didn't spend $1,000, which is the
No.
most surprising part.
I think we spent maybe
About
500,
500.
if that,
Yeah, no, it was a little over 500.
and that's on like vendors and everything. Bless
Excuse
you.
me.
Because did we get anybody's autograph last year?
We do.
Adam Savage. Oh yeah, we got a photo op and autograph with Adam Savage.
And we got a.
You good?
God, my throat was getting weird.
Water.
I have one. I'm about to have some. Oh, we had an autograph from Sean Chamel.
Mm.
So we finally got to meet him.
Yeah, he was pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people think he's kind of an asshole, but it's like, no, he's just an introvert.
Yeah, He's there because he's there and he appreciates his fans, and so he'll be there for his fans. But otherwise, you can probably tell he's just like, I want to go.
Oh, he's such a homebody. It's so obvious.
Which absolutely cracks me up because then you got Chris Sabat, who's just very much an extrovert.
Oh my god, like
that man's line was
it is
so
insane
long. I think they're both backing in this year.
They're back there too. Yep, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna get the same.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's there Thursday, and I was the only sad.
No, I think they're Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was hoping they would be there.
Not a lot of them are there Thursday. They're all of them either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, it makes sense. Like,
yeah,
it'd be weird for them to actually be there on Thursday. It would be cool that Chris would be there on Thursday because it'd be more likely to see him. But like, yeah, because all the other days are shit. Like unless you show up at a decent time.
And then I'm trying to think. There's not a whole lot else that we're gonna be doing for. I think if Lydia has their way, we're gonna definitely hit up some type of
separate like
food place,
niche bars and niche places.
I want to try and hit up the Pokemon ramen place, not for their ramen, but I just want to try the boba, like their themed boba.
Oh well, I mean, I thought it was just because of the Pokemon theme.
That too,
which is perfectly fine.
But I just want the boba. I don't want the ramen.
But yeah.
I say that now. I could hit ramen tonight, but
yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna go be in MegaCon. Look out for us in MegaCon. We're definitely gonna be spending some time talking to people around there, filming a little bit. So if we see you sometime, another thing to know, don't have it on us, but at the time of when this recording gets released, this will be the last week that we have our merch drop.
Is the hoodie still on there?
The hoodie is still on there. Everything is you come in out of nowhere with it.
Well, I had just in case I got cold.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is one of our favorites. It actually is a favorite in our stuff.
It's super soft on the inside and very comfortable.
Everything is lower in terms of price. So get them while it's hot.
Yeah, because we're looking at getting new designs.
Yeah, we'll be back in I don't know, maybe the fall or winter for another
a little bit before fall, so we can get some of the stuff out there.
Yeah, possibly. But look out for us. We're definitely going to be interviewing people and using that for our next podcast. And
we will not be interviewing any special guests because we do not have permission, which is A-okay.
That's very specific, but yes. Well, yeah.
That was MegaCon rules, not us.
Come out. Check us out. Hopefully we'll see you there. Until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Bye.
Bye.